Okay guys, so welcome back to part 2 of the video. So when we finished up in part 1, things were going pretty well, so I was happy enough so far. So we'll continue on from where I left off, and we'll see what the end result is like. So I'm not going to hold you in a big long talk. I'm going to let you get straight into it, and see you at the end of the video, and we'll see how things turned out. Don't forget to hit the like, guys, and that's it from me. Go check it out. Right guys, so I bet you were thinking I was going to show the fish where I finished up at the last bit, but I'm not. I'm holding that off for a minute because, until later on in the video. I'm holding off my fish because I'm bringing it back to this. So this is my, I'd say this is where I'm going to pour the epoxy into, and I want to try and make sure it doesn't stick to the sides, the epoxy, because again it's timber and the epoxy. So I'll be doing this in a 2-pour, so I'll probably pour just a layer first, maybe, I don't know, we'll see what I'll do in it, but the plan is to do that. But first, to try and make it not stick to the side of this, even though that's like a laminated there, it could still possibly stick to it. So, and again, you can see there's some black marks and stuff like that on it, so I'm hoping that won't be an issue later on. So I don't have any release sprays or anything like that to try and put on to see will that solve the problem. So I've been told that something as simple as Vaseline. So I bought some Vaseline there to try and hope. So this is some, I think it's a lip balm or some crap like that you can use it for. But that's what I'm hoping. So, but I'm not just going to smear it on and try and spread it out, because it's going to be, it's like a jelly as it is. So the plan there is I'm going to put that into a container and heat it up with the heat gun. Any excuse to use the heat gun, of course, which you won't need to see me do, but I'm going to do that to make it into a liquid, so that I can put it around a thin layer, a very thin layer, all around, down around the bottom, around the sides and everything like that, so that it gives that layer of protection. So hopefully when I do pour in the epoxy, it won't stick, and that will create a barrier between it and make it easy for me to remove the finished fish and a few other bits and pieces in there. So I'm going to just melt this off screen, and we'll get ready to brush it on, and we'll see how it goes on. Will it go on easy, or will it be just torturous? Because so far this has been torturous for me, because as I said already at the beginning, this is not something I am too good at. So we'll see how we get on. I'm going to heat this up, and we'll get it into a liquid form, and we'll put it on and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, here's my liquid petroleum jelly or Vaseline, and all I'm going to do is get this little roller, and we're going to just put a little layer of it. We'll pour it out actually into the container here, and we'll start spreading it around. So I just want to get it up along the sides, all down along here, so that I have a nice little layer built up. So when that dries in there, I'm hoping that we'll get, so we'll just get some more. Just to give me a thin layer of it all around. So that we can, hopefully it'll stop the actual epoxy from sticking. That's just a very thin layer. Right, so I'm going to, next part is we're going to get ready for the epoxy. So hopefully that'll work. I'm going to be doing a 2-pour epoxy. So we'll start with pour 1, or mixing it, and we'll work it from that. So we'll probably do that outside, where the fumes won't be as bad. Okay, so we're outside and I'm about to mix my first batch of epoxy. So what I'm mixing is, it'll be the Epotex I'm using, and it's going to be a 2-to-1 ratio. So I'm going to put in 200ml of hardener and 400ml of the actual epoxy itself. And then we have to add a little bit of colour because I want to get a little blue tinge to it, so I'll have to remember my ratios to try and get the blue tinge right for the next mix. If I don't, then it'll be a different colour the second pour, which possibly could happen, but sure, we'll see what happens. So as I've never done this before, so we'll open the hardener, and I want to get to 200ml of hardener. What are we at there? We're at 150. Touch more. I have to lift it up because I can't look out because of the camera where it is. It's blocking my view. Okay, that's about 200ml hardener. Well, small bit off it. I want to try and get it exact because it's the first time doing it, so at least if I have it exact, I can't blame anyone but myself. And then I have my epoxy resin, so that goes in next. So 400ml of that to get my 2:1 ratio. Of course the old cap thing will cover it. Okay, so that's my 2:1 ratio. So it's time to start mixing. So we'll start off with, so you want to make sure this gets a good stirring. So I'll probably fast forward this. Now, so sorry about that guys, so to make it work maybe a bit better, I've decided to use a dropper to give me 1ml drops at a time. So we'll, ooh. Oh, that's about 1ml. So we'll put in, mightn't even put in 1ml, we'll put in about 1/2 ml. So and we'll start mixing that and see what we get. So I want a light blue. Okay guys, so we're inside and ready to do the pour. I put some paper underneath in case we have leakage, because I don't know how well sealed up that joint is, or that container. So as I say, I can't really mix it any more than that. So if we end up with bubbles, we end up with bubbles. Nothing I can do about it at this stage. I think I've got to the stage now where I begin to lose patience. Okay, so I want a thin layer on the bottom. So when this goes in, we just spread it around so it gets into all the corners. I might have gone too light with the blue, but no leakage yet, so we'll see how we get on. So we'll let that dry and we'll see what it comes out like in the morning. We'll see, will the first layer bubbles seem to have disappeared, and we'll go from there. So we'll see what it turns out like, guys, after it's cured overnight. Right, so that was left overnight, 24 hours, and we have the first one is solid underneath it. So as you can see, it didn't turn out too bad. The colour isn't too bad. You can see through it. A few bubbles here and there. Nothing I'm not going to worry too much about. So next thing is we're going to have a little bit of a base, like a scenery in the bottom. So what better way than a circuit board? A nice green circuit board. Of course, there has to be some flashes of gold in it because that's what my channel's about. So he will be placed there, and then we're going to have some grass and weeds and stuff growing out of the bottom. So what better way than some cable? So again, these will be just shooting up from in around here. I'm going to fix them into place, would glue them into place, so we'll have weeds like that growing up out of it, different colours mixed in. So what I'm going to do is fix them up like that, and again we'll have things like weeds growing wherever out of it, all over the place, and again maybe some over here. So again we'll have some weeds growing up across each other. So I'll be fixing these into place here by using some glue, just to glue them into place, or mastic, or whatever you want to use, silicone, whatever you want to use yourself. So that'll be them, and of course there'll be little bits of flowers and stuff like that on them. So maybe we'll use some diodes and transistors and stuff like that, and we'll place them on the top of them, because it is e-waste we're working with. So again, they'll be just placed strategically on top. So we'd have some of these little caps. So again, they'll be the little weeds growing up out of it. Some of the not capacitors, but tantalums and stuff like that. So again, we'll be placing them on top like that, so that we have, now the blues are not coming out too good on it, so we'll change colours to greens and maybe bits of copper and black and stuff like that. That's the plan. So you can gather what I'm trying to do. So we'll have them growing all over the place, and of course we're going to have our fish. So ta-da, there's my fish. Not great, but it's all a bit of fun. So I'm hoping when he's in here we'll have my little fish, something like that. So we'll be ready to pour the next bit in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some mastic. I'm going to put a blob of it down here, and I'm going to put a blob of it here, and I'm going to stick these into it and let that dry. And then I'm also going to stick these. I don't know what I need to stick them, well I probably will need to stick them into place so they don't move around when I pour the liquid in. The next covering of the liquid over the top of this, and to let it set. So that's it so far. So I'm going to get a little bit of mastic and put it into place here. So again, all I'm going to be doing is taking them out of there for the moment, and we'll take the little caps out. So just a quick blob down here, and another quick blob here somewhere, and we'll just let that there, and I'll just give it a little spread out with a bit of a disc or something. Let me see what I have here. Have I anything that I can use? Yeah, I do. So just a bit of a CD thing, so we'll just spread it out. Okay, so that's that. And now to try and reach in over the camera, which I apologise for. So it's just a matter of sticking these all over the place. So we even got a little bit of copper wire coming out of it. And we'll try and make it so that it brushes out. So I'll add a bit of copper to it. So it's just a matter of placing these anywhere you want in there on the board. Same over here. So these ones are all earth wires, so you can see them there. They're just plain earth wire. Twist them around a bit so that they're going a couple of different directions. So again, it's to do with the e-waste and recycling. My great crafts, you know. Okay, and we'll add a bit of different colour in. We'll put a few beigey colours or whatever in here, so that it has a few other colours coming in, or maybe a brown one growing over the top of them through the middle here. So something like that. We'll add a few more in. Over this side. I'm hoping that they won't react too much with it. And again, just place that somewhere in the center. So that's the weeds, and then I'm not sure how I'm going to do these. I mightn't actually do any diodes on them. I just might leave it like that on it, or I could maybe place some of them so that he's trying to eat this sort of food or something, maybe. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Place them in there like that. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to just place them in there like that. So it's like food or something. Just a bit of fun. So these could be little fish or something he's eating. So we'll just place a few of them around. So you get the gist of what we're looking at here, so that when I pour the next batch of epoxy in on top, it should seal them all up, and we're more or less nearly finished. My great creation. So that looks fairly okay. I'm happy enough with that for the moment. Well, it's as good as I'm going to get it anyhow. So my next job is to mix my next load of epoxy and pour it in. So he's chasing something. So we've got the weeds. I might put some more weeds in here or something. Maybe not, no, a bit too much. So I'm going to pause it there while I mix the next load of epoxy. And I'm not going to show you mixing that because again I showed that already. And we'll be ready to pour the next load of epoxy in over the top, and hopefully I'll get the shade of blue near enough to that blue, and we'll be ready to pour that. So I'm going to let that dry, and so that it doesn't react. Hopefully the silicone won't react with the thing. So got our scenery, got our little fish. We'll try and position them there somewhere, and that's it. So we'll mix next epoxy and pour it in and see what it looks like. Right guys, so I've mixed up my next batch of the thing, and I think I've gone a slightly darker blue colour. I may have put a little bit too much dye in, so we'll pour it in and see what happens. It'll be a bit of fun anyway, won't it? So as I say, it may have come out a darker blue, but anyhow, nothing I can do about it now. The dye is in there, so the dye is cast, as they say, and I should have that mixed up enough. I've been mixing it there for a good 10 minutes, so I'm hoping that it is fully mixed up. Just so you can see there, we've got a different shade of blue, but there you go, that's half the fun, isn't it? Learning as we make mistakes. But we'll see what happens. And if you haven't noticed, I've put a Scrappin' Irish sticker in there. So we have to promote ourselves, don't we? So might as well pour it. No turning back now. So here we go. So hopefully we will get that to set. As I say, it is a darker blue, a bit darker than I wanted, but you never know what it'll turn out like in the end. So guys, we'll let that set overnight and we'll see how my little fish will come out in the morning on it. So we'll leave that there to set, and we'll see how it looks like in the morning. So guys, we've had a bit of a disaster. While this was curing, it overheated. So I can actually feel the heat off of there. So we had a little bit of overheating, and we've ended up getting cracks in it. So we have a crack across here, a crack down here, and I see over here more cracks, and it's very, very hot. So hopefully it doesn't go on fire and I'll have to call the fire brigade, and if it does I'll blame no one but myself, because it I poured too much in one go, but it's already setting. You can see there it has gone quite hot. So what I might do is I might leave this outside where it is a little bit cooler, and hopefully it won't go on fire, because it is quite hot at the moment. So it looks like it's going to be a fail, but my fish looks okay. So you can see my little fish in there. So guys, we'll let it cool overnight, the rest of it, and we'll see what it comes out like. It'll probably come out in 2 bits, but anyhow, it's all part of the fun. Well, where to start? Well, first off, I'm just after watching Everyday Solar's premiere of her fish. which turned out, let's just say, a lot better than mine did. So, without any further waiting, I'm going to show you what I've got at the moment. So, this is my fish. As you can see, he's in there. You can see him there glittering a bit. But unfortunately, we've got the epoxy decided it didn't want to stay as one piece. So it decided it was going to try and separate itself out. But unfortunately, not just that, we have a nice little crack there. And we have some more crack in here and crack in here. And it's gone very bubbly. As you can see if I bring it in close, it's gone very like marbly thing. Still quite hot, even though I have it left out for hours to try and cool. But that is not the only issue. I can't get it out of the case. So, it's stuck. So, it will not budge out of this. We had a lot of resin escaped out the back of the thing, as you can see. Good job I had cardboard down to catch the resin. So a lot of resin escaped from my my thing. So what's happened now is the resin has gone between this, even though I put something on to try and stop it from sticking, that did not succeed. So I'll let you be the judge of this one, whether it's a fail or a roaring success. Like, wouldn't anyone want to have one of these? You know, look at that. Isn't it a work of art? The nice little leaves, the fish, the Scrappin' Irish sticker, the works. Comes with its own frame. In its frame. But no, the real plan there was, if this had turned out right, I was going to have lights put around the side of it. I was going to carve out, put some lights into it, stuff like that. So it was going to be really, really good in my own head. But unfortunately, didn't turn out that way. So I'm going to call that one a fail. But I made an attempt. It's an attempt, fail. A learning curve, that's it. A learning curve. So that's it, guys, for this video. Tune in Monday night on the live to see if I actually managed to get it out of the case. If I did, I'll be amazed for a start that I got it out. It's going to take a lot of sanding and stuff to try and get some of these bubbles out. And you never know, I might be able to salvage something out of it. But that's my attempt at the Ian Matthews challenge. Not a competition. Not a competition. So there's no first or last or any of that carry on. So it's all about taking part. That's what it's all about, guys. All about taking part, as Ian Matthews will tell us all, I'm sure. So thanks for watching, guys. And check out the rest of the people that are doing this challenge and see how everyone else is getting on. And of course, Ian Matthews has extended it for another couple of days because he hasn't finished his one. But so I'm blaming him that I had to rush mine, thinking I had only a few days left to do it. So I would have turned out perfect if I hadn't rushed it. That's my thing anyhow. And so thanks for watching, guys. Give it a thumbs up and catch you on the Monday Night Live and see, did I actually get this out of the case? Probably not.